Okay, so this is exactly why I got into the roller. It's how it all started for me. I had my lower back pain. I had the shooting pain down the side of my right leg, and it was all from sitting a whole bunch. So I'm an engineer, product developer. I would sit 8 to 10 hours a day, and I was completely healthy, but I had my back pain. Telling my doctor about it, he didn't really seem to think much of it. I kept at him. He sent me for x-rays, showed nothing. Obviously not, because it's muscular in origin. So kind of dealt with it for a little while, tried to actually strengthen my back with back exercises. That aggravated it, made it worse for me. Then after that, probably a year later, I met an exercise physiologist. He really explained what was going on, and now I'm able to take care of it and handle it. And this is what I want to show you today. So I'll start with a little bit of explanation, showing you what's going on, why it's going on, and then what you can do about it. We're going to go through relief of your lower back pain, and then release of tension, and then strengthening of muscles. So when we sit, the pelvis kind of rotates forward. The hip flexors are in contraction, and sitting here all day long, fibers get stuck in contraction. The hip extensors, the hamstrings, and the glutes, they are deactivated. They basically just sit there all day and become weaker and weaker. And then when we need them, we don't have them, and that's the start of the problem. So hip flexors are getting tight on us, hamstrings and glutes are getting weak. And then when we go and stand, we have the tight hip flexors pulling on our pelvis, and we have our hamstrings and glutes that are weak that aren't really counteracting that. So we end up with pelvic tilt. You can probably see it in the camera. I have slight pelvic tilt forward still, which I still combat because I'm always at the computer. And we want it to be more neutrally aligned. So I'm going to try and exaggerate it. Hopefully you can see it in the camera. So that's kind of a exaggerated pelvic tilt, and that's more of a neutral position. So you hopefully can see it in the camera, the pelvis rotating back and forth. For me to really bring my pelvis to a neutral position, I have to squeeze my glutes and my core, and that shifts my pelvis forward. Otherwise, I kind of want to naturally fall forward a little bit. If you're really exaggerating, you have the arch in the lower back and the pelvis very far forward. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the roller to relieve the tension in the hip flexors, and then we're going to do a little exercise to strengthen the hip extensors, the glutes, and the hamstrings. But first, we're going to just relieve the back pain, because some days your back just hurts. You want some relief. It's not really about making progress, but just feeling good. So for that, we'll just really relieve the lower back, because with the muscles in tension and the pelvis tilted, it puts pressure on it's constantly causing our lower back to be under tension and take the brunt of it, because it's a smaller, weaker muscle compared to your leg muscles that are much stronger, that should be taking the load. So that's why you're getting back pain. And then the tilting forward can pinch nerves and inflame muscles inside the hip. That's where kind of the sciatica comes from, and the shooting pains. You're getting that nerve pinched as the muscles and the pelvis aren't in its natural position. So the back pain and the relief. So come down onto the ground. You can do this against the wall. Definitely safer on the wall on your lower back. The reason I'm doing it on the floor, for me, you get a little bit more pressure, and I just want to show you how to do it as well, since the wall's pretty self-explanatory. Don't put the roller right behind you and go and lay down over it. You're asking for a muscle to get pulled coming down on it. Your core is half engaged. It's really a bad way to get down on the roller for your lower back. So instead, lay down in a bridge position. Let me scoot forward, make sure I'm in the camera frame here. So you're in a bridge position, and then bridge up, grab the roller to your side, and then put it in your low back. And right now I am just above my pelvis bone, right at the top there, and each ball is on each side of the spine in my QL. And here we just breathe. We don't even move. So it's really just about deep breathing. You're going to feel that you sink into the muscles, and you'll kind of almost melt over the roller a little bit just with your breaths alone. So however long it takes, 30 seconds, minute, 2 minutes, it's going to feel nice just laying here in and of itself. And then once you do kind of relax into the roller, you're going to want to kind of rock your legs a little bit. And this is going to bring your body over the roller on end and give you a nice little massage the QL muscles, give you that back pain, that back relief. So this will feel nice. You can do this in bed. It'll take a little bit of pressure off because the roller will sink into the mattress. I would not suggest rolling at this point. You're looking to strain something because your core engages, disengages. It can get awkward. Especially don't lift up onto the roller on your lower back without your core engaged. To protect your spine, it's not a good idea. The things I do for you on camera to show you what not to do here. So just stay on the roller, and then when you're ready to get off the roller, bridge up and take the roller out. So that will give you some back relief. It'll feel really nice end of the day after working, and your back's aggravated. But from here, we're going to want to make some progress. So we're going to first relieve the tension in the hip flexors. Really the psoas, which is deep in your abdomen, connecting your spine to your pelvis, the quad muscles that are connecting down at the knee, up into the pelvis as well, the top of the femur. So really, we're going to roll all in here, and on the leg, it's going to be outside and inside the adductors as well. So to start, what's the best? Probably lay this way. So I'm going to put the roller in line with my pelvis, but it's above it. It's not on the bone. It's right above it. And then when I come down, well, you can get down on the ground first, and then kick the chair out of the way here. So you're down on the ground, put the roller in line with that pelvis, and then you can roll onto it. I'm really, only the one ball's putting pressure, digging into the abdomen there to dig down into the psoas. Majority of my body weight is supported by my elbows and my knees and legs. And that way I can control, by lowering myself down onto the roller, how much pressure I want, depending on how tight I am. So here, your breath is really going to control this stretch. So you can take deep breaths into your diaphragm, and the roller pinning the muscle will really help stretch it, and you'll feel it with each breath. So breathing here, you can rock slightly, and I'm using my elbows to kind of push my body weight forward, back and forth, and it's only like an inch or so. It's not a lot of movement. You can rock side to side a little bit. You'll feel it once you get in there. But the psoas is deep, so you want to kind of relax into it as much as you can. And you can, if it squirts out, you can kind of move it around, and then work your way down past the pelvis and the hip, get to where all the quad muscles are attaching, and the TFL kind of on the outside. So here I have kind of my center of my leg in the groove of the roller, so the femur bone kind of rides in there, and then I can really massage the muscles on each ball depending on which way I rock my body. So kind of squared up. I don't know if the camera catches it, but I am supporting my leg, or my body weight with my leg on the other side. I'll switch sides so the camera can see it. So right now, body weight supported by elbows and this leg, and that really controls how much pressure I put on this ball, so I'm not complete body weight on it. So back to this leg, the left leg. So I'm supporting myself, and here using my elbows again and my legs to rock back and forth. And you're also going to use your pelvis to kind of rock back and forth to get on the inside and the outside of the leg. You can almost turn on end and roll a little bit, or I guess rock a little bit more so. And then just either move the roller down or scoot forward. I got the wall here, so I'm going to move the roller down and do a little bit further down the leg and keep working my way down. For the adductors on the inside, best way to get this is lay flat down, put your leg out at 90, now get the roller under there, and again, you're turning your pelvis, opening it up, and then rotating forward, and that will allow me to roll on the adductors. And again, it doesn't have to be dramatic movements. I'm doing that for the camera. You don't have to roll that much at a time, but just an inch or two of rolling in an area, and work your way up into the groin. And you want to get pretty high up into the groin. That's where everything's attaching to the hip. A little personal, but get used to it because it's good for you. It's going to feel nice, and just really that's where a lot of the tightness is, attaching at the pelvis there. So again, I'm rocking just back and forth using my elbows, and honestly a lot of breath will help. You can even extend your leg out and then flex it back up. That's going to keep different angles on the muscle. So go ahead and do both sides, but for the sake of video length, I'm only going to do my one side there. So that is really loosening the hip flexors. And if you have other exercises or stretches, static stretches, you can do it. You can go one leg up, squeeze your glute, reach up, different stretching exercises. If you're interested in more, I can send you that, but I'm not planning on going into it. Now for the strengthening of the hip extensors, the hamstrings and the glutes. So we've gotten the flexors loosened, which again wants to pull our pelvis forward. But now if we release the tension here, we'll be able to pull our pelvis more into a natural alignment easier, which is going to make these exercises easier, and this is going to help strengthen and keep it here. So bridges, you are familiar with them. They are very straightforward and simple. You're going to bring your feet in flat to the ground, your back nice and flat to the ground, head flat, hands on the ground, and from here you are going to just bridge up, and core is braced, and you're firing all in your glutes. So you are really squeezing to drive your pelvis upward. You don't need to get your chest into it. That extra extension up here isn't doing anything for you. It's really about squeezing and the raising of your pelvis. A nice cue is to imagine a string pulling you up by your belly button and really driving the hips forward. Squeeze the glutes. I tell people it's like you got to go to the bathroom and you're not going to make it. You squeeze, squeeze, squeeze as tight as you can, and then you can relax and come down. And then when you come down slow, one vertebrae at a time back to the ground, and then you can rep it out. Go back up, hold at the top for a couple of seconds. I'd suggest 10 to 20 of these at a time. It is surprisingly fatiguing for us sitters. You will feel it. And also, if you feel tightness as you do this in your quads still, you might feel a tightness at your knee, at patella. You might feel it kind of up in the hip still. Go back to rolling. Depending on where the tightness is, the muscle's tight, so you might feel it down at the knee, even if it's tight at the top, because it's at the attachment points that you feel it, even though it might be, the knot might be somewhere in the middle of the muscle. So go back, use the roller if you need to. Continue with the exercises. If you want to intensify it a little bit, just squeeze and hold longer. Hold it for 10 seconds, hold it for 20 seconds, hold it for 30 seconds, whatever you're comfortable with. But you're really squeezing and keeping that pelvis up as high as you can. You don't want to push back with your feet. Another cue is imagine you're on ice and you don't want to slip backwards. You just want to drive up. So don't push back as you do it. Just straight up. Doesn't matter about how high you come. It's just that it's a good engagement of the glutes and the hamstrings. And you're going to feel this is all going to be really tight when you do this, or really fired. You get fatigued fast just holding him. Everything's starting to already burn on me. This is a fantastic exercise for me to do, so a very welcome video, so thank you. So those are some great exercises to kind of relieve the tension and then strengthen the muscles that are going to help keep this back pain away for good. It's something you always got to do. You're still going to be sitting for work. I still try and do it as much as I can. It's not a one and done, unfortunately, but it's going to definitely make some progress for you. If you have any questions doing it, always reach out. I love helping you. Anything I can do, and keep me posted on your progress. So good luck.